Today I want to do just a short video showing kind of how I use the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, to measure my language levels and to help me improve where I can. And I said yesterday, or not yesterday, whenever I did the last video, I said I was not going to measure my Spanish level because I don't really care, but I'm going to measure my Spanish level. Not so much because I care, but because it's at a level that will be useful for this purpose, and because I actually have a chance to get a couple new language partners trading Spanish and English, and so it will be helpful for me to look at where my Spanish is and where they can help me improve. So this is the Common European Framework of References, which I discussed in my last video, going from A1 basic user all the way up to C2 proficient user. And I said using the grid work, you can get a really comprehensive idea of where you're actually at in levels. So starting with listening, A1, I can understand familiar words and very basic phrases. I can definitely do that. So I'm just going to highlight and mark that off. A2, I can understand phrases and high-frequency vocabulary related to areas of most immediate personal relevance. I would say on this, I watched La Casa de Papel in Spanish, and I understood most of the cuss words. So that's definitely A2. And I have a couple of people I follow on YouTube that talk about stuff that I'm interested in, and I watch their videos, and I seem to understand most of what they're saying, though certainly not every word. So I would almost put myself A2 here. B1 with Spanish is kind of a wash because I can follow things if the delivery is relatively slow and clear, and I've yet to meet a Spanish-speaking person that spoke slowly, so I don't know. But no, I really can't understand the main points of like TV programs. I still have to use subtitles in Spanish for the most part, not in English, but I don't catch every word. I can follow what's going on like action stuff like La Casa de Papel, but I can't really understand the nuance, so I would not put myself in the B1 at all on that. Reading, this is actually going to be kind of easy too, because the only things I've really read in Spanish are a couple of the Ollie Richards Simple Spanish books, and I know those are aimed at A2 level, so I'm going to give myself like half credit on A2, but I wouldn't even say I'm a, high A2 because I'm not reading independently on my own, even short texts. I'm reading stuff aimed at beginners still. Spoken interaction, my issue with speaking, well, I can communicate provided the other person is prepared to repeat and rephrase things at a slower rate, definitely. Communicate simple routine tasks, kind of, some of the time. Again, I'm going to say about halfway here. Spoken production, I use simple phrases and sentences to describe where I live, people I know. Yes, we can do that. I can use a series of phrases and sentences to describe simple terms, my family, people, living conditions, educational background. Yeah, somewhat. Yo empiezo mis frases en la español y acabo en portugués. Siempre. So this is my problem. My real problem in spoken production is confusing the Spanish and the Portuguese horribly. So I'm maybe somewhere in the A2 levels on that. Writing, I think, is probably my weakest skill in Spanish because I just literally don't do it. So I would really have to think about anything that I was to write in Spanish. And so looking at this, you can see I'm probably overall an A1 user because a number of these half marks, I think I'm probably at the upper end of A1, lower end of A2. Things that I could work on, I can definitely work a lot more on writing, and that might be a good thing. So probably for my new language partners, I would like to work on writing, like about my life, writing a simple self-introduction and then sharing it with them and seeing if they can help me improve it. And of course, my spoken interaction and spoken production. Both of these people are people I've met through my Portuguese class, so they speak Portuguese, and hopefully they can help me decipher the differences and not make so much confusion in my brain between the two. Because I do that with both the vocabulary and really bad with the prosody. Because the languages are very similar, but the way they're spoken is very different. And so I have to get my mindset into Spanish. So I'm saying yo tengo and not you tengo. And it's those little things. It's harder. The confusing languages is the hard part of learning very similar languages. And I think we don't give people learning similar languages enough credit for the amount of brain work that it takes to do that. So there is my level in Spanish as best I can tell. And there is kind of how I use the CEFR scores. And I recommend this to all learners, that you sit down with the grid work and make it into a PDF and mark it up like this and keep it and refer back to it regularly, and you can see where you're improving and see where you need to keep working. And in that respect, it's a really good tool. In other respects, it sometimes, I think we put too much emphasis on it. Use it as a tool. Don't take it as like your identity as a language learner, that you have to be B1 or C1 in whatever language, because it doesn't always match up to what the real world uses of the language are. So that's my video for today. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want more, and I will see you in the next one.